Today on the Philly Talk podcast, I want to go over some Eagles news and rumors as it pertains to top 10 duos, positional groups, plus ESPN got an article saying each team's surprising player to watch going into training camp, going off what they did in OTAs. We'll talk who is the Eagles player. And I also want to bring up another Dallas Cowboy player saying they're going to the Super Bowl.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got a couple different things we going to touch on. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, help your boy out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ding the bell so you're notified when I go live or drop videos. Goat Talk is coming, if not today, very soon. We might have a special Georgia Bulldog coming on an episode. We are so close to getting that done. But I also want to tell you about a YouTube short I'm working on slowly but surely. It's a backstory of a Philadelphia Eagle staff member or player that a lot of people don't know his story. So when I drop that one, it's a special one. Hope y'all love it. And hopefully, if you don't know, now you know the grind this person had. But let's get into it. So I want to start with the Eagle social media. They are one of the best. For all my Pokemon people out there, I'm 32 years old, so I definitely born in the early 90s. I know about Pokemon, and shout out to the Eagles for doing a great job. Let's see if you get this player, too.
Who's that Eagles player? It's Fletcher Cox!
Here we go, boys!
Hey, again, shout out to Sideline Eagle. We follow each other on Twitter. He said, my dumb self thought that was muck before they did the reveal. And again, that is the Fletcher Cox famous crawl, point fingers after a beautiful third down sack. And so shout out to the Eagles social media. Got to catch them all. I still believe this is going to be an epic season for the Philadelphia Eagles. And we sit here today with 23 days remaining until Eagles training camp. And I know some people say, training camp, I want to get to the season. Me too. But there's so many good questions we got as it pertains to right guard, the real rotation at running back, the linebackers, the safeties, which young cornerback guy is going to, cement himself in a possible rotation role. Is it an Eli Ricks? Is it a Josh Jobe? Is it a Greedy Williams? Let's not forget Keely Ringo, Georgia Bulldog, now Philly Dog. Don't forget to get your hats. Link in the description, pin in the comment section as well. You'll find the link. Just if you can't find it, message me. I got it for you. This training camp period is going to be big, and it's only going to build character for the guys battling. And when you have tough battles, the person that wins it deserves it. If the battle is easy, you don't know how good the player was to earn that starting spot. But I believe these battles are going to be epic. Talking about an epic battle, let's go to the first one. ESPN surprise offseason standout for all 32 teams. We don't care about the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, the blah, 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 blah. Let's scroll down until we see the Eagles. And we are here. Linebacker Christian Ellis, one of these training camp battles that I'm most ready for, right? Who's going to get that starting spot next to Nakobe Dean? Is it Nicholas Morrow? Is it Christian Ellis? Is it Davion Taylor, who's on his last straw? But this is what ESPN said about linebacker Christian Ellis. The third-year player out of Idaho made several highlight plays this spring, including intercepting jalenhurts and returning it for a touchdown during 7-on-7 drills on the final day of OTAs. Having lost both starting linebackers in free agency this offseason, it would be a welcome development for the Eagles if Ellis can continue along with current project starters Nakobe Dean and Nicholas Morrow. Again, that's what the depth chart will tell you here in June, early July. But I do believe Christian Ellis, as ESPN says, surprise guy to watch, will get a key role this season and might grow into exactly what we want next to Nakobe Dean. Could you imagine Nakobe Dean, only been in the league second year, Christian Ellis going into his third year? If that group, who was really good together on special teams, I got to go through a film session, and it's not fun to go through a special team film session, but I want to show you how Nakobe Dean and Christian Ellis actually work together on special teams, just shutting things down. Once he was a big part of that, Nakobe Dean was a big part of that for the whole season. And could that translate to their chemistry on the field together, side by side at the linebacker position? Because mind you, 3 linebackers won't be on the field much. The Eagles play a lot of nickel, a lot of big nickel, will be in dime packages because of the way this league is. It's a passing league. They want 3, 4 wide receivers on the field more than 2, 3 tight ends, 2 running backs. So you'll see a lot of nickel, big nickel. That's why the safety battles are as important as the linebacker, because you might be seeing 3 safeties on the field. Got to get the best 3. I think we know who that is, but we'll talk about that closer to training camp. I also want to go over Eagles land twice on CBS Sports rankings of top 10 NFL duos entering 2023 season. And of course, you know who one of the duos is. A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. We'll talk about what they did together. But the second duo is surprising. I thought it was going to be Darius Slay and James Bradbury, but I find out it's not. They got Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson as another top 10 duo. They do not have Darius Slay and James Bradbury inside the top 10, but Jason Kelce and Lane Johnson is. The protection in the passing game provided by Kelce and Johnson led offensive line, plus the way they are able to clear lanes in the running game, help take Jalen Hurts' game to new heights. Shout out to Jason Kelce in his podcast. The way these duos work together to elevate their quarterback, who already has a rare skill set of his own, is what makes this Eagles team such a unique challenge for the opposing defense. And I totally agree, right? As much as we look at what Jalen Hurts can do in the skill players on this team, running backs and receivers and tight ends, the offensive line is the bread and butter. It's what makes things work. The top teams that get to the playoffs normally have a good offensive line. They also got good skill positions, right? So the players, the highlight reels, they're cool, but it also comes from the bread and butter, the trenches. And as we're talking offensive line, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, beautiful. Whoever fills in that right guard spot, whether it's Tyler Steen and or Cam Jurgens, you are protected to your left and right. Now, of course, the second or one of the top 10 duos is A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They combined for 180 catches, 2,691 yards in 2022. And I believe, 11 touchdowns for A.J., 7 for Devonta. So 18 touchdowns for the combination of this group. The acquisition of Brown to play across from Smith gave Hurts 2 of the league's elite cover beaters, both of whom can take the top off the defense, and one of whom is one of the most imposing physical mismatches in the NFL. The way these duos work in synergy, I should have said together again, to elevate their quarterback who already has a rare skill set of his own, what makes this Eagles team such a unique challenge for opposing defenses. So the last sentence was the same for both, and it's important that it was the same because we are unique. We do give opposing defenses a huge challenge. Physical offensive line, route running wide receiver, physical wide receiver, do it all tight end. And now you add a back in DeAndre Swift, who, as we talked about, I'll pull it up. If you didn't catch other day's video, that means you don't got notifications turned on, right? But if you didn't catch it, DeAndre Swift versus the Eagles running backs since 2020. 156 to 182 catches. 1,198 yards to 1,211 yards. 7 touchdowns to 2. 50 first downs to 52. 8.3 yards per carry to 6.9. Mind you, DeAndre Swift was hurt. Yeah, you could say Miles Sanders was hurt in 2021, but guess what? The other running backs still produce stats because it's not just Miles. It was all the Eagles running backs. So even if one gets hurt, another one comes on and plays. When Miles is tired, Kenny G came on. Boston Scott came on. When DeAndre Swift went down, he didn't get no more stats. So while playing half the time the Eagles running backs did, this one guy was the same and or better in the passing game than all three running backs. That's crazy. We're going to utilize that. Just some finishing touches. Rankings NFL top 10 defensive position groups for 2023. Let's get into it. So they got number 10, the 49ers safeties. They got number 9, the Jets cornerbacks. Number 8, the Giants interior defenders. That's interesting. Number 7, 49ers off-ball linebackers. Number 6, Bills safeties. Number 5, Browns edge rushers. Number 4, Eagles cornerbacks. Number 3, Ravens off-ball linebackers. Number 2, 49ers interior defenders. And number 1, Eagles edge rushers. So Eagles got 2 groups in this at number 1 and number 4. I'm surprised we don't got no interior stuff. I mean, I know we lost Hargrave, bloody bing, bloody boo. But I can't wait to see what Jalen Carter does. Last but not least, Cowboys Micah Parsons says it's our turn to win the Super Bowl and dismisses the Eagles' chance at redemption. So Micah says, in Micah Parsons' eyes, the Philadelphia Eagles had their chance last season. It's now the Dallas Cowboys' turn to take a run at the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The Cowboys suffered another divisional loss in the playoffs last season, but Parsons is not one to dwell on the past. He may only be entering his 3rd year in the league, but has solidified himself as one of the best defensive players in the game, and he knows that the edge can lead to a Super Bowl. Additionally, he does not want to hear those saying that the Eagles are simply going to repeat as NFC East champs and waltz through the conference on their way to another Super Bowl. He said, "Man, I don't say nothing," Parsons told Fox News Digital over the phone, blah, 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 about that. Where did he go? Oh, the work has to be put in. You still got to show up on Sundays, man. You could have the best lineup in the world, and they have the same team as last year. Their team came up short. It's our turn this year. You got to capitalize on your opportunities, and this is our year. The reason I say that is because DeMarcus Lawrence said that the gap is super close between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Dak Prescott said they're going to the Super Bowl this year. And now Micah Parsons. And again, you want your team to think Super Bowl. But man, Dallas, take your Dak Prescott should be worrying about just progressing. Like, I understand. If you ask any Eagle players, they probably feel the same way, but they're not saying it, right? Cowboy fans and people wanted to talk about us last year when Miles Sanders said we got a Pro Bowl team. Well, I forgot. He said we got all-star team. Miles Sanders said we got an all-star team, and he took slack for that. But now you got multiple Dallas Cowboy players saying it's our year. We're going to beat the Eagles. We're better than the Eagles. We're going to the Super Bowl. Well, I need to see it to believe it. Because if you follow me on community posts, right? If you have community posts enabled, you see, and I put the Cowboys finally made a Super Bowl. I think it was, 2,320? Another couple hundred years, and then they finally made it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Eagle Nation. A little longer video, a little more drawn out. Not much news, but 23 days, we're about to see bang, bang, boom, boom, some good battles. That is what I am very, very excited about. Again, you got to be a diehard Eagles fan or football fan to be excited about training camp. I know some people who kind of take a break from YouTube Eagle content creators and or football in general. When it hits that June, early July period, someone say, I got to take my time. I got to get away from football a little bit. And they don't come back until September. But the sickos, the good sickos, stay rocking with the channel and Talking Eagles throughout the whole time. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you don't got nothing to say, muscle emoji. Y'all know how we do. Muscle gang. Y'all keep killing it, killing it, killing it. And until next time, you know what time it is. We out.